evening, my name's Alex Campbell.
Oh, I'm James L.
And you're watching Examining Cinema. So, oh, he's already gone. That's alright. We made a promise last review, like...
I'll have 2 puppies. Alright, I'll have this puppy.
1 puppy. We made a promise like 10 months ago that we would pat dogs in the next review, so I felt obligated. But yeah, they can fuck off now. They eat your food. Get out of here.
Because they don't like me anyway.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, the opening scene of this movie is great because you're being noisies. Get out of here.
That's it. They're getting bashed.
Alright. Rude, get! Prince Ashitaka, right? Nago. He's this fucking demon boy. He's been shot with iron. And
yeah, I was gonna say that first scene where they're like up in that tower, and they're just like looking at that one little bit of wall. It's like
yeah. Builds tension perfectly, and then he's like,
just bursts out.
Yeah, he comes
100 miles an hour.
Yeah. And then he gets his creepy demon leeches on his arm, which curses Ashitaka, meaning that he has to leave his village because...
Yeah, but it's because he damages... I'm pretty sure it's because he...
I mean, he's infected with, like, demon AIDS.
Yeah, I think it's like a response, because, like, he smashed the deer god, so he had to get it.
Yeah, that old lady, she was angry at him for, like, doing something.
The old freaking wise lady.
Yeah, she's like, you're dead to us. Cut your hair off. You need to leave in the middle of the night. You can't say goodbye to any of your
like
family.
The last prince in their like bloodline. She's
Yeah.
just smiling the entire time, like, no,
Get the fuck
out. We don't love you anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever comes to pass now, you are dead to us forever.
But that, it sets the whole movie up because he has to leave his village. He wants to find the spirit of the forest to get rid of his disease. Archetypical hero's journey. He's leaving his family. He's going in this new world.
Yeah, well, he's pretty much like already dead at that point. Like,
Yeah.
they pretty much said like you're fucked. Like,
Yeah, game over now.
it's game over. Like, you just go find out what's going on at this point. So like he has nothing really to lose. So like.
Yeah, and it sets the tone perfectly. We get that one shot or a couple of shots of that boar rotting away.
Oh yeah, where it like fades into the bone.
Yeah, he's talking and his eye like sinks back into his head and his like lips curl up and he just like melts away and it's like so brutal, especially for a Ghibli movie. We're like, oh, we're doing this? Holy shit!
Soon all of you will feel my hate and suffer as I have suffered.
Violence!
Yeah, I don't think it's even like 5 minutes into the movie or something. It's
Yeah.
already, like a rotting corpse.
Yeah. It's like, a demon rots away in front of everyone. It's like,
Well,
this is the tone, this is the pacing, this is the level of violence.
I know in
Let's do
Japan
this.
when he like originally did the trailers for the movie, like released them.
Yeah.
They pretty much got like all the big like explosion scenes and all like the hectic stuff. So like, because everything that came before that, it was like what Kiki's Living Service,
Yeah,
those kinds of movies. Like it was pretty much just going like, this is what you're getting in for. Like, don't bring.
She's gonna be violent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was like complete opposite tone to the last set of movies.
Yeah, which is great. Probably the most violent Ghibli movie. I haven't seen all of them, but I assume so. I mean, fucking Grave of the Fireflies has some pretty dark.
That's more like macabre.
Yeah, it doesn't show like.
The only one that really
Action or
has
violence.
like that real rotting kind of gore would probably be Nausicaa, but that's not technically Ghibli, so
Yeah.
that's precursor.
Yeah, so just like from the beginning, the story is written so well that it's all set up and it all functions, it all kicks off from that moment.
So your cult's like not a real animal, right?
No, it's like a red deer, which is a fictional creature.
Yeah, they're like made up.
Yeah.
It was like something to do with he didn't want to have to try and draw an animal, right? Like,
Yeah, anatomically correct.
yeah, I suppose because like if you look at something like you're gonna know, like you know what a deer or like a horse kind of looks like.
Yeah.
And if it's slightly off, you're gonna be like, fuck, that's munted. Like.
Yeah, and he is like an epic beast. I'll cut in that footage now of him jumping over those samurai. and
Just
he's
doing just a mass leap.
Yeah, which is so awesome. Yeah, I mean, the wolves are kind of anatomically correct for the most part. Moro has 2 tails, I guess, just because she's like a magical spirit wolf.
I'm not really good at the whole like mythology, folklore side of Japan, but I know there's something to do with that.
I'm an ignorant Westerner. Like, I grew up in Australian culture.
What are these Japanese?
Yeah, I know nothing about Japanese mythology.
I know there's something to do with like the Japanese fox, like kitsunes or whatever they're called, where there's something to do with the more tails.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's that Pokemon, right? With the 9 tails.
Yeah, it's something to do with mythology, like the more than one tail is specific to a certain trait of it.
Yeah. So, yeah, Ashitaka sets off, comes across Irontown, which is like this frontier town.
No, well, he hasn't come across Irontown yet.
Oh, well.
Because he's, there's the scene where we've got Ashitaka and then it switches to the rain.
Yeah.
And then you've got
all those beautiful there's like a montage of like scenic shots and all the oil paintings and everything.
And then and then it switches to like really dark, drab, like rain moving the cattle through the side of the mountain.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that introduces Lady Boshi.
Yeah.
And goes and all that.
Goes without. It goes. It goes without saying, and it feels kind of silly to say it, but the animation is like immensely beautiful, revolutionary for its time.
That scene where like in that scene where with the rain where the wolves like sprinting down the mountain.
Yeah.
Just like holding on for dear life and they're like lining them up.
Yeah.
They come right in and they're just like bursting flamethrowers.
Yeah. All the action is so like well edited and flow too. It's like if this was a live action movie, you'd say it was cut together well and pacing and everything. It's how the action sequences work. Has a perfect flow, but it's like animation, so they went to the effort of like figuring out how long each shot should last for, and like how to make them move. It's fluid and stuff. He filmed a bunch of actual people doing actual stuff.
Yeah, well that's it.
Counted the frames. Like how many frames does it take to move a sword from here to here?
Well, I know that he was super into that. Like he made them act out scenes.
Yeah,
like,
because it'd be so easy for all the human movements to not look natural. Just if it's slightly off, your eye would be like, that's not how a human does X.
Yeah,
but he's gone to the effort of making all the action look real.
Like Miyazaki was super involved in Princess Mononoke. Though. Like he was designing the characters for this movie and stuff. Like back in the 70s, I think.
Yeah, he had the idea for it. Yeah, back in the 70s.
Yeah, and it's just kind of just loitered in the background because it was a big movie. Like they
on the back burner, yeah.
They were worried they weren't even gonna fit it.
It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a thing I read, and I think Miyazaki said, "Oh no way, incorrect." Is that racist? Can I say that?
We just did, so.
Okay. I can't do an Aboriginal accent, but I can do a Japanese accent. Is that how racism works now?
I honestly don't know anymore.
No, you can do Asian accents, it's not racist. Can you do a Chinese accent though? Is that racist?
What if you do a Weeb's accent?
I don't know what that is. But there are different levels of racism. Like being racist to a Norwegian person, you can get away with that. I am Sven from Sweden. And then Japanese is more racist than that. Japanese. And then Chinese is even more racist. Chinese! I am Chinese accent. Anyway, it's said somewhere. Every time I'm going to be Miyazaki, I have to do a Japanese accent. I just don't want the internet to be like, you're racist! Which is all the internet does.
That's what the internet's for.
Yeah, calling out people for racism, trying to destroy their careers.
You cancel, motherfucker.
Oh, YouTube kicks me off the platform.
So you got the scene the smashing through, and then you get the cattle kind of fall off the side.
Yeah. Which sets up the fact that there's giant fucking wolves in this world.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, there's also like giant wolves, and the fact that guns and stuff exist.
Yeah, well, it's I can't remember the name of the period now.
No, I'll ding it up here.
Yeah, you have to dig it up.
I did see it in my travels.
Yeah, it's like based around like the 1300s or something.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's like when
every dynasty is named after whatever ruler.
Yeah,
ruled
it's
it
when
for a
like
certain period.
nature and humans really started to like
Yeah.
conflict. Like,
Yeah, so one of the main like driving elements of the movie is like the industry of mankind versus like the lush beautifulness of nature.
Yeah,
And-
like you have this samurai on one hand like chopping people up with swords and arrows, and then you've got these people coming in with like literal flamethrowers and
yeah, the
cannonballs.
just entering into like the
Yeah.
industrial age of feudal Japan, which was 13 diggity do to 14 diggity do. But yeah, the rumor which Miyazaki dismissed was that he didn't draw, but like he altered or edited to some
like
degree.
80,000 frames or
Yeah, of
something.
the movie.
Yeah, he's always like no. But like
He's probably being modest.
when I think about
Probably
like, I can't really like find a way to say no. I doubt he did that because like every time I think of Miyazaki, like he's constantly like, no, I don't like that. We're reworking that. I'm redoing that myself. Like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine him going through like one of his biggest kind of visions. Like he wanted this movie to happen and like not have hands on with like an extreme
Everything.
amount of it. Yeah.
And as we talked about in our last review, which is up here, if you want to click this little
I
thing.
think it's this side. Maybe? I don't know.
It's somewhere. It's in the. I don't. It's on the YouTube. Yeah, he like this is like his life. There's that documentary where it follows him making his final film, and you go back to his like empty house, and he has no wife. He has no
Well, he was
kids.
like super dedicated to it.
I mean, he has spent his entire life making these masterful pieces of art.
When you think about it, though, like
Is that a life?
there's
well
a
spent?
lot of directors out there. That have,
Tarantino.
yeah, that have made like some seriously good stuff, but like I don't think they put that same level of like.
Well, Tarantino is an example where like he doesn't have a personal life. That might just be because he's like on the autism spectrum.
Yeah,
Tarantino's a bit.
He likes feet though, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, he definitely has a foot fetish.
Doesn't say like that pretty much just like he's strange.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
but like Kubrick, Stanley Kubrick, one of the
Yeah.
greatest film directors of all time, he had a wife and like 8 kids. He had a personal life, although he wasn't as prolific as Miyazaki. I think there were big gaps later on in Kubrick's career. He'd make a movie like every decade.
I've always found it weird how like.
And he didn't like form his own like studio and like all that stuff.
Yeah, I've always found it weird how Miyazaki can like, all of his movies, like for the most part, they're about women, for a start, like a female character.
Yeah, there are lots of strong female characters in this.
Issues that females would have in it, but like, he's just a lonely Japanese dude. Like,
Maybe that's it. Like he's just pining after women, just making
'Cause, like, I think
strong
it's-
female characters.
I think Ashitaka is like the first character. He's stated that like he can identify with his own pictures.
Which is because like he was dead and non-human after he
Yeah,
got
like,
infected and left his tribe. That's the aspect of humanity you can
Yeah, like
relate
he's
to.
always associated with that like
Devoid of
futility,
humanity.
like, just that real nihilistic view of life.
Artists, such interesting people. If they weren't though, their art would be bland and boring.
Yeah.
A bland and boring person makes bland and boring art. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, well I suppose I'm pretty bland and boring and like I couldn't make no fucking movie.
I wouldn't say I'm bland and boring, but I mean I'm not making art. I'm reviewing art. There's a clear differentiation.
We're not an odd
That's that
Japanese
word.
man staring at little girls on the train station.
Getting inspired to make Kiki's.
It's like, yeah, that's good, looks good, that's a movie.
Yeah, so Ashitaka's infected by this disease, and it adds this like ticking clock element to the entire narrative. There's this underlining element of like doom, like he's gonna die.
Yeah, well it's cool though in the fact that like he's fucked. Like they set it up at the start, like even though she's smiling the entire time, like she's pretty much saying like this is gonna eat you away like cancer.
Yeah.
But then like that scene
And you watch
where,
it slowly grow throughout the map.
that
movie.
scene where he comes into contact with the samurai, like, and he like just obliterates its head, like.
Yeah.
Like it pretty much comes up like like you're screwed, but like you're getting something out of this as well. Like it's showing you that like it is a sickness of rage. Like the more rage you get, like
The
it's
stronger it
it's
grows.
feeding on it. So like you you could use that rage, but like it's gonna kill the fuck out of you.
Yeah, you'll become strong for a time, but in the end, you're gonna be a mindless
it's like
demon.
a double-edged sword. Like,
yeah,
kind of entices you. Like the more you.
Yeah, which adds an interesting element to the narrative too. The main antagonist has like this superhuman strength. He lifts up that gate and does a bunch of crazy shit. I just like guess all those elements are more interesting to people. There's a reason we watch superhero movies.
See, there's a difference though, because they seem inhuman. Like, even Iron Man or something like, or Batman, they're not inhuman, they're human, they're just really rich.
Yeah.
But, like, when you do, you're like, fuck man, like, that comes like next level. Whereas Ashitaka, like, he seems...
It's very grounded in the world.
Yeah, like, even
it's
though
not overpowered.
Even though he can, like, bend old mate's sword in half, or, like, you know, lift a giant 10-person gate. Like,
it's not like...
He doesn't come across like, that guy's gonna smash the fuck out of you. Like,
so The Matrix is a good example. By the end of the first film, Neo is so powerful that they really struggled to write the rest of the movies. They put him up to such a high bar, like Superman as well.
You're already going to assume that like...
Yeah, it's like, alright, Neo is Superman, what do we do next? I don't know. Where Ashitaka's power, it's grounded, it's realistic. He's more stronger than the average person, but he can't fly.
Yeah, well that was like, there was a...
He can lift up a heavy gate, but he can't punch a hole through the planet.
There's like, there's a lot of problems with that in certain things. Like there's things like One Punch Man, which is an anime, where essentially just one punches things. Like you've got to really compensate for your level of like writing.
Yeah, well, Dragon Ball Z, like
you're already under the assumption like he's going to just one punch this dude. So you've got to fill out the rest of that episode with something that's worth watching. Yeah, well,
that show is interesting because it's like. It's examining that idea. It's like what happens with the overpowered character. But stuff that's less conscious of that, like Dragon Ball Z, when they get to the point of like people blowing up planets, is like once they go past that point.
Yeah, like you're already under the assumption that this is going to be ridiculous. Like whereas like they know that like One Punch Man or something, like he's extremely strong, but most of the story revolves around secondary character arc to fill it out, which is the same as like Princess Mononoke, where you've got side characters like Lady Eboshi and Taki and all that stuff, where it makes you invest in them to take your mind off the fact that old mate's like got his thing going on all the time.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about Lady Eboshi.
Yeah, Lady Eboshi.
Yeah, because in a traditional narrative, she would be like the antagonist. She would be the villain.
Yeah.
But she's not. Like she's portrayed as like this industrious lady who's pushing forward society. Yeah, she's helping out prosies. She's helping out lepers. She's good-hearted. She's just like a side of a coin.
Yeah, she's like this super hardline kind of like, put it to akin like the military, like a really hardline with their authoritarian government. Like they're trying to do, not necessarily time, but like they're trying to do what's best for their people, and it's gonna fuck up everyone else. But like at the end of the day, they're still human. Like they want those people to like strive. Yeah. But they're kind of affecting. Like she doesn't want. That's like when she describes she's doing it this way to kill the forest spirit
to help the
because and not just that, but doing it that way ends the forest.
Yeah.
So you kill the forest spirit, all the boar, everyone loses their spirit level. They just go back to dumb animals. So like there's no longer a war between the boar and the humans at that point, which is what she needs to end so that they can expand the forest like Irontown. Yeah,
it makes sense. It's like a believable, understandable character.
Yeah.
And like a lesser creator would be like, nature good, industrial age bad.
Yeah.
But it's not black and white, it's complex and nuanced. Like the idea I think is balance. Like we need to find a balance with nature. We can't just destroy forests and murder animals and pave it all with cement. But also, society needs to move forward and develop. And the idea is finding where is that balance in the middle.
Yeah, but that's like the whole concept of Irontown. Is like from where Miyazaki, like when he was younger, he used to go like watch blacksmiths and stuff.
Yeah.
And he would like watch them work. But then after a while, he started to realize like around the blacksmiths, like how it was affecting the environment. Like the shit that was like slag coming off it, like all their offcasts and stuff. Like, it was fucking up. Like they'd constantly cut down trees to burn furnaces and that. And he ended up disliking it. And that's where like a lot of that came from. Whereas like Irontown's not necessarily bad. It has a purpose. But, like it's just that existing is like a cancer on the surrounding nature.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just like the depth and like amount of detail into these ideas. It's not like a surface level movie. It's not like a Star Wars, like good versus evil. And I guess Vader later on he does get some nuance. But like the first Star Wars, it's like Luke is good, Vader's bad. Let's have a battle. It's like, yeah, these complex and interesting ideas that are being examined with detail.
Yeah.
Lady Eboshi, who is she? Sun, who is she? Ashitaka, who are they? They're not good, they're not evil. They're three different opinions which have their negatives and have their positives that are all interacting with each other.
Well, that's like why he struggled to come up with an ending for the movie at one point.
Yeah.
Because like he didn't want it to just end with like Irontown punching on with someone and that being it. Because like he doesn't see that's how like war ends in real life. So like the way he's ended up going is like there's no real winner, there's no real loser.
Yeah.
It never really ends. Like there's still the fact that like after this finishes and Irontown's busted up, there's still that other samurai gang.
Yeah.
That, like are gonna want to come and take over Irontown's place. Like there's a lot that isn't like set to. There's no real villain. No one really loses apart from the forest. The boars get pretty fucked up in the end.
Oh, the boars, yeah.
But like
the boars.
they also kind of like they go at it. Like they're just as ready to punch on as everyone.
Yeah. They're like, you know.
But like they're also just trying to protect their forest. So there's no real reason to hate them either.
Yeah, it's great. I love that type of story more so than a traditional like black and white narrative.
Yeah.
You must not take your revenge on Lady Eboshi. She's the only one who saw us as human beings.
Alright, so let's talk about old Princess Mononoke, which is like a translation.
Oh, the name? Yeah.
Well, the character in general. We'll talk about the name first. Yeah. So yeah, it's like what was the Japanese version? It's like Princess like Wild Lady or something.
Yeah, it's I know that there's definitely no Princess Mononoke in the movie.
This episode is brought to you by Golden Oak.
And whatever it was I was drinking.
Yeah, they couldn't quite translate the name.
Yeah, it had no literal English translation.
Yeah, there was no word to put it. It's like, you know, Wild Lady. And in the movie, she's called Sun because Sun is 3.
Yeah, she's the
third son.
She's the third motherless child, I think.
Yeah, which is great. This like giant wolf god has adopted this human child into her pack.
Yeah, but there's also that weird conspiracy or like fan theory that like she's wearing fur, like wolf fur.
Yeah. So
she killed the other baby. Like,
did Moro have a third child that died, and now
she's just like
Sun is wearing the skin of this dead child,
just replacing it like, you're my child now.
The plot thickens.
Just going fucking crazy.
Yeah, but it's weird because she's like one of the main female characters, I guess, and she's the love interest for Ashitaka.
Yeah.
But like pathologically, like she's fucked. She's like a wolf lady, like.
Yeah, well that's like the lead animator or whatever it was. He like researched mountain dogs.
Yeah,
to like make her behavior like seem like a fucking wild person.
She could never integrate with society. Like she could never hold up a relationship with Ashitaka and like raise children and shit. Like she's fucked.
Yeah,
she's been raised by wolves, man. She's a wild beast.
Yeah, like you're literally just walking into the bush and just grabbing like a tribe person with like no human contact.
There was a girl in Russia who was like, she was lost at like 5 or something.
They tried to bring her back to society?
Yeah, and what they actually discovered was like her prefrontal cortex, because it wasn't stimulated throughout her development, it didn't grow.
Yeah, it was underdeveloped.
Yeah, and like she'd reached maturity, so they were unable to like get her to a point where she could integrate into society. So that is really interesting. If your prefrontal cortex isn't stimulated as you grow up, it will actually like, I guess it's like your arm, you know, if you work your arm, it'll get bigger. If you work your brain, it'll get bigger. And in that period where you're developing, it's integral. And once that period is over, like, she's done.
Yeah, I think it was like back in the 1800s or something. There was one in India. Something like that.
Yeah.
I got this guy, like, tried to dress him in clothes and stuff, and he could just never integrate. Like,
it was like the whatever, the elephant man, the wolf guy.
Yeah, he just, like, their brains just snapped.
Yeah. So she is that, and she's, like, the love interest for Ashitaka in this. Which is an interesting character. She never, really...
To be fair, though, that's probably, like...
They don't go deep into psychology or brain development or anything.
Even just the relationship, like, it's not really that explored.
There's no, like, I don't know.
Like, they showed the romance of it, but, like, it seems to be more about everyone else. And Ashitaka and Sun are just the catalyst to keep the movie moving.
Yeah. They're pushing the narrative forward. And I guess it's just because like they're around the same age and like they're in that period where people are getting interested in that. That's why they're in love. But there's no rhyme or reason for them to fall in love. It's like, why would she go for this guy? Why would he go for her? She's fucked. He's fucked to her. He's
literally fucked. Like he has growths on him and worms. Like she was literally stuck to him with like worms coming out his arm.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like, we love each other. It's like, why? What do you see in each other?
Also, he did punch the fuck out of her in the stomach as well. He just socked the shit out of her.
Yeah, Lady Boshi.
Yeah.
Okay,
there is a lot of violence in this movie.
There is a heap, which I love. It's great.
He's just thrashing a compilation, just fucking
violence, just blood and gore. Let's do it.
Sort of screaming in the bed again.
Yeah, and the whole thing is it's paced beautifully, and it works up to that third act. The tension and suspense, like mounts and drives with what's that main old blind ball guy's name? I don't think I wrote it down.
Blinding McScreaming.
Blinding His name's up here. Yeah, he rocks up and he's like, we're gonna fuck up the humans, and it all starts like it's paced beautifully. Like it's a 2 hour and 15-minute movie, but you're on the edge of your seat, and it all builds to this moment of like the balls attacking the humans. And
well, it says a lot when you can fit that much. Like the amount of shit that happens in this movie. And the amount of like story arcs that happen within the one movie.
Oh yeah,
it's like
every main character has an arc.
Even if you didn't have Ashitaka, like you could have just the Irontown drama with like them meeting the head, so that old mate will help them fight off the samurai.
Yeah, Lady Eboshi. Like, that's already, like a whole movie there.
Yeah, it's like a lived-in world that Ashitaka just wanders into. Like everything feels like you could cut one person out of the movie and the movie would still be full. Like
absolutely,
there's nothing that's going to leave it really empty. Like I suppose you can chop out a forest spirit and you get a bit more into it.
Yeah, but it has a peak. It has a moment. It's like he knew where it was all going to build to beforehand, and he wrote it or storyboarded it, I guess, which is how he writes, which is interesting to say the least.
Yeah, he does everything in visual.
Yeah, sits down and storyboards it all out, and that's how he writes the movie. It's like he knew the end goal. This is the conflict that we're going to end to. So what do we need from the beginning to get to here? Well, the opening sequence, we need Ashitaka getting infected and leaving the tribe, and then we need the introduction to these characters. Like, it all flows. There's no fact. It's all there for a reason and serves the narrative.
There's nothing there to just fill out space. Like every little thing seems like it's supposed to be there. That scene, that background.
Yeah, it picks up and peaks to the ending, which is Lady Eboshi and old mate Billy Bob Thornton did the voice with the mole on his nose and the red nose.
With his huge fucking shoe thing.
Yeah, with his shoes that I don't quite understand the purpose of.
You really ought to relax.
They want the spirit of the forest's head. She wants it to help the lepers because it could heal them. He wants it for the emperor.
She doesn't necessarily believe in the fairy tale that the forest spirit's blood can heal you. I think hers more is the she needs the head for old mate.
Yeah, like politics.
So that he can give it to the emperor, and then he's going to help her fight off the invading samurai. Who want to take Irontown, because like I'm assuming she knows that like without his help they're fucked. Like
so that's getting attacked by samurais and shit.
Yeah, because like especially the scene where they're in the forest and Ashitaka's like confronting her, and he's like, you need to fucking go back. Like Irontown's about to get destroyed.
Yeah.
And like there's that like half a second where they put it in like she's thinking about it.
Yeah.
And, like you can just tell that she's like, nah, like if I don't kill this god, like even if I go back, we're fucked anyway. Like,
yeah. Her whole like character is about moving forward and progressing and being industrious and excelling and succeeding. So she's like, what do I do next? How will I better this world, better this place? And yeah, so the boars attack the humans. There's this great battle sequence which we see in
That fucking
flashbacks.
explosion is like.
Yeah, we get a great scene with a guy with PTSD, like talking about the boars coming and he's all fucked up, which like is like a moment of realism to this, you know, cartoon kids movie.
I saw her. I was right in the front line. I saw everything.
What happened?
I'm not sure. Everything started happening so fast. It was like a nightmare.
Jigo's troops put us in front as bait to lure the boars in.
Apparently, which it obviously isn't. And then, yeah, she eventually blows the head off the spirit of the forest and
It seems like. It just pops.
cut in the scene now. And yeah, once his head comes off, the music gets so weird.
Yeah, it just like
and
picks
surreal.
up like really.
I love the music so much. Like,
It's not heavy, but it's like it's really like on the edge of your seat music.
it's like obscure. Like up until that point, I would say it's a pretty stock standard like symphonic score. You know, like John Williams kind of. What is the scene? Well, the scene is exciting. Well, we'll have exciting orchestral music. But then once the spirit of the forest head gets blown off, it's like.
Yeah, like.
And it's all still violins and stuff, but yeah, it's so great. And
Yeah, with like the scenes of the trees just like rotting away and like the hands like coming over through.
yeah, and what are the little
Oh, the Kadoma.
yeah, like they're all floating
Just fucking
down
dead babies falling everywhere.
Quick, Jigo! Bring me that box of yours!
And this thing is just like blobs of death flying everywhere and killing people. Normally with movies, and this just might be like a personal thing, but I really like the first act.
Yeah.
I like setting off the characters and the world and the introduction to all these people. And
It's hard to finish a story.
it is very hard to finish a story. Speaking as someone who's never finished a story.
I don't finish shit ever, so.
I've written lots of short stories and by the end I'm like, what do we do now? And yeah, a lot of people have that problem, I think. But I think this is one of the few movies where I like the third act
Yeah.
the most.
Yeah, well I find for me it's a bit of an arc, so it goes I like the start a lot.
Mm.
Where like you get the first
Start is great.
The first
Do you want one of
initial
these?
scene. Yeah.
Or have you got one of them? Whatever you want,
I
man.
suppose this is a bit more potent. I'd rather not. Fun fact, after last time, I destroyed a vacuum cleaner with vomit.
Jamie drank a lot of red wine.
I drank
and
a lot of red wine. And a bottle of vodka.
Well, yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, you did. Did you bring a bottle of vodka here?
Yeah, we drank it during the movie.
Yeah, okay.
And then we sat here and drank a whole lot of it.
We seemed pretty lucid and sober during the review, but it got hectic afterwards.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
What were you saying? Sorry, I interrupted you. I feel like that was a good.
What was it saying?
Fuck! It's gone forever!
Gone!
No! Forest's Spirit, Big Blob's
Oh yeah,
Death.
I have to say like, yeah.
Third act.
Start of the movie, it comes in, it's like real intense pacing, like sets up straight away. Like, this ain't gonna be no slow ass like Ghibli movie. This is different.
Yeah, this is action, adventure.
Yeah, like within the first couple of like minute or two, it's like bursting out of the wall kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then it kind of peaks off a bit. Like he goes through the forest and everything, and it's good. And then once you get into more of the Iron Town, like it's not so bad. And then you get into their romance sort of section, where he's like taking her back to the forest and all that. It's like I don't really care, hey. Like I don't want to see you fall in love. Like
Feels a bit forced.
yeah.
It doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't really take away or ruin anything. It's not like a moment where I'm like, no, why are you doing this? Just be like a moment where I'm on the couch like, meh. I was never like, what? Why?
Yeah, like it doesn't feel like it shouldn't be there. It's just like I'm not really invested.
I don't care.
Yeah.
There's so much other plethora of interesting shit happening.
He could have hooked up with fucking San, Lady Eboshi, or Goza. Like I don't give a fuck.
We're talking about your cool's romantic interests before. You think that he was...
That scene with the wolf. You gonna put that in?
Yeah, I'll put that in
Put
with
that in right now.
with do. Yeah, no, you're cool. Well, the conclusion that we came to is that he would be taking it from the wolf.
He loves the wolf, and the wolf turned out to not be female.
The plot thickens.
2019, people.
Get with it.
Get with the times.
Interspecies sex.
Yeah.
So yeah, the third act is so surreal and almost like body horror. You've got this giant like god creature searching for its head, and just like David Lynch, David Cronenberg like esque moments of
similar with the blind ball god.
Geez, look at that! I placed that like right on the edge. You can't see it from this angle, but that's
magic.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like the scene with the blind ball god where he's trying to make his way back to the forest spirit pool, and like he's just like stumbling his fucking way through, and he's just there's most gut wrenching squeals, like blood pouring from his mouth.
You got these hunters in like pig skins that are stabbing him, and he's like vomiting blood. Like
the first one where like it shows just that zoomy scene of the forest. It's just like one dead ass like fucking boar skin just staring at you, like you just know like this scene's gonna get weird.
Yeah, it was actually a shame when I rewatched it the other night because I haven't seen this movie in probably like 5-6 years, and I knew what it was gonna be, but I thought if I didn't know what that was, I'd be like, this is crazy.
Yeah, like it doesn't explain to you that they're wearing the skin straight away, like.
Yeah, Mononoke or son explains that briefly afterwards, but yeah, it's like, whoa, this is weird and creepy. And the moment where that boar creature, I feel like I did write his name down. I wrote Lord Boar Guy.
Lord Boar Guy.
Ding!
That's almost as good as Gonza, literal butthead.
When the main boar lord guy starts turning into a demon and Mononoke is trying to get all
they're like coming out of his nose,
the worm
and
leeches, and
it's like frantically like slapping them.
It's so crazy and violent, and it's different. That's what I like about it. You know, you watch all this like Western media so much, and Star Wars and Star Trek. It's the same tropes, the same arcs, the same themes, it's the same ideas.
It's also consistent too,
regurgitated.
because he's been shot by the iron ball.
Yeah,
and he says like I can feel it burning inside me. And, like, it basically shows you like the same experience that happened to that boar at the start of the movie. So like it's consistent in the fact that, like the iron is like evil. Iron, pretty much like the guns are probably the only real enemy in the movie. Yeah,
that's true. You could say that. Like
they're the only one without
guns are shown in a completely negative connotation.
Yeah, like they're only ever seen like they shoot. She accidentally shoots Ashitaka. They burn the fox. It's never really used in really a defensive, except for the war with the samurai. And even then, it's still
watching people get shot.
You could probably still justify the other samurai as well. So like.
Yeah, it makes sense with old Miyazaki's background too, being born in like the midst of World War II and Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Speaking of his
pacifist.
joys for like putting things in movies, there's one thing that isn't in this movie.
Flying.
There's no flying.
Yeah. No planes, no flight.
And the funniest bit is, it's because everyone was like, bro, you like to put so much flying in a movie. And he just got self-conscious and was like, oh, why put any flying in there?
Yeah, and he did, and made my favourite Ghibli movie. It's like, I can still do this without flying. Check this shit out! Yeah. This was the highest grossing movie in Japan until Titanic popped up a few years later.
Yeah, they actually did ridiculously well.
Blew shit out of the waters. And I think Spirited Away did a lot better financially and critically. But yeah, this was a milestone for Ghibli.
I would say Spirited Away was the only one to win a
Academy Award. Which is it's kind of a wank anyway. What did they give it to him for, like, best foreign film?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
You can't just like categorize this entire amazing like world and genre in like this one thing. The Oscars are wank anyway. I think someone from Red Letter Media referred it to the old white drama awards. They're all old white men who are respecting drama. There's so much more shit going on.
Yeah, well, it's like a lot of anime too. Even though Ghibli is really considered more mainstream movie media.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's that stigma still, like it's Japanese cartoons, like Asian cartoons.
There's that like nerd idea around it, like, why do you watch anime? Are you one of them nerds?
Yeah, like it's never, in the Western world especially, it's never really held to the same claim. It's like you couldn't really ever go up to a person and say like, hey, I like this movie as much as I like, say, this Avengers movie or whatever, because they're going to be like, cunt, that's a fucking real movie in a cartoon. Like,
fuck, I will say this now, Mononoke is better than any Avengers movie ever made, ever.
I've watched a lot of movies lately, and all the ones I like most are old Ghibli movies I've watched. Stuff like A Silent Voice, which is another anime movie, and like, none of it's really been live action shit anyway. Like, all the live action shit coming out is just fucking remakes anyway. Like,
I mean, the movie industry has gone to shit. It used to be like, the idea was we'll invest money in an artist. It's like, we'll give Steven Spielberg $500,000 as a young upcoming artist. What can he do? He creates Jaws. But now what it is it's the producers and it's the bean counters and it's the executives of Fox.
Yes, like you're not going to see...
They're in the creative process.
You're not going to see like another Kevin Smith or something.
Yeah,
like
which is unfortunate.
That's not going to really pop up anytime soon.
Yeah, rather than investing money in an artist and seeing if it pays off, it's the corporate bureaucrats.
Yeah, it's like we need to do
with their
something
thumb in the soup going, we need more salt.
Yeah, we need to keep these fucking like stockholders happy. You know?
And I like the idea of one man's vision, you know. This is one man's vision.
Like, the problem with one man's vision is, like, one man can ruin a vision.
Yeah, if the vision is good, it's amazing. If the vision is bad, it's garbage.
Yeah, like, it's a real fucking teetering scale there. Like, it's either going to be good or you're going to smash it
But, like, the committee, like, The Force Awakens, it felt like a massive group of people saying, what is a good Star Wars movie the fans will like? It doesn't feel like a Tarantino movie or a Miyazaki movie. It feels like a corporate product done well.
That's Disney though. Like there's not one Disney product that isn't like even when you get over to Ghibli, they're like acquirement of fucking the English rights to Ghibli.
Oh, are we getting up to the Weinstein comment?
Oh, you can if you want, but but just the fact that they got that because Ghibli sells merchandise. A lot of merchandise. Those DVDs will sell indefinitely. Like, it doesn't matter 10 years from now, there's still people going to be buying those. Like,
oh yeah, man, this is making money through fucking DVD sales and merch sales.
Yeah, like just
streaming.
Little toys. Everything. Like, it's just another lucrative business for them. Like, same like Star Wars when they put that stupid little fucking fuzzy thing in.
Oh, the Porg?
Yeah, like it's literally just space minions. Like, that's it. It's there.
That felt like a deliberate, like, corporate decision to make profit.
That's a toy. That's literally existing to make a toy from. It's like, as you just watch kids' cartoons these days, and it's like, oh, they've got a new series with like cars in it now. Like, well, that's clearly what's going to be coming out next as a toy. Like,
yeah, and the thing I was talking about earlier was when they were talking about dubbing this in English and dispute. What's that term? I've drunk way too much wine now. There are certain words in like my vocabulary that aren't that easy to grasp at.
Just imagine that they're like
distribution,
right? Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, imagine Weinstein and Miyazaki just in a room, like having that conversation.
Well, I don't think that we're in a room. The rumor is that Weinstein wanted to cut scenes from it to make it a more Western-orientated movie because it wouldn't have sold. And the rumor
not a fan
is
of silence, like in movies.
Oh fuck, he's no. We'll get into him later. Miyazaki sent a sword to him, katana. And said no cuts.
That's a straight up threat though, like. Like it's like you're not gonna fuck with my movie. Or you're gonna get katana. Like.
And then Weinstein said, just rock up to my hotel room at 11 p.m, bro. And then he's just got his bathrobe open, morbidly obese, covered in like fucking sweat pimples.
Hey Miyazaki, you want to film?
I remember Dave Chappelle. He was like, if I seen anyone in the world who couldn't get fucked, they'd need to rape, it'd be Harvey Weinstein. That fucker couldn't get laid by anyone. He's gotta rape. That's the only way he's gonna get sex.
That's crazy though when you think about it though, like that's hard line. Like, no, I ain't fucking changing my movie. Like
that's sending a message.
Yeah, like you could have just emailed like, no, I really would like to keep the movie the way like I'm the director. But like, just straight up sent him a sword like, I'll cut you, bitch.
No cuts.
Yeah, like this ain't happening.
We're not cutting the film, which is obviously like
it gets cut, you get cut.
Like, what would you cut? Why would you cut the violence? The violence is.
I don't think it'd be the violence, to be honest. I think it'd be a lot of the anti-war, anti-gun,
environmental.
Yeah, anything that was anti-firearm or anti-gun. Cause
America.
Weinstein, as far as I'm aware, has a lot of ties to that shit. So
Yeah.
to sell to a Western audience, you don't really want something that's really like hippie kind of nature based, because it's not what sells there. People like guns, people like explosions. So it probably would have been chopped to remove a lot of like the silent, emotional, like existentialism and stuff, and it would have just been an action film.
It's like drawing a mustache on the Mona Lisa with a Nico pen.
Yeah.
That's equivalent.
It's like when you think about
It's like getting Van Gogh Starry Night and going, we need a bush here.
It's
and slapping
essentially...
some paint on the fucking
It
canvas.
would have been the dodgy version of Nausicaa that got made.
Yeah, which I haven't seen that cut.
Yeah,
Because why would you?
Don't bother, it's fucking trash. But like, yeah, that one that was made, like, some cheap company bought the English rights before Disney got hold of it. Yeah, like, that one is like, it's not as long, it's been completely chopped, like, Shia LaBeouf's, or he's not played by Shia LaBeouf in that version.
Yeah, that guy.
Shitty voice actor, yeah, that guy. He's now like the main character or something, and like...
Yeah, wow.
The entire premise of the movie changes, like it's not even the same plot line.
It's amazing what you can do just through editing.
Yeah, they essentially
you can completely change the narrative just through editing.
Yeah, like it's not a good narrative, but like it's not even resembling of the original narrative.
It's like just show the fucking movie, you know.
So it's definitely good in that aspect that like he didn't give in.
He didn't need to. I mean, the art speaks for itself.
He's one person that you should just literally just give money to. Just fucking make a movie.
Do your thing.
Yeah. Make me another Spirited Away or some shit.
Yeah. This might be just my subjective cynicism, but I think Ashitaka should have died at the end. Ending's a bit too happy. Just for me personally, I'm not saying it's bad or it doesn't work or it's not good filmmaking, but I think if Ashitaka like sacrificed himself, then you have like Sun and Lady Eboshi as the two elements left, like nature and industry.
I reckon when they both get like completely smothered in like the curse at the end, it should have stayed that way. Like, I don't think it should have
been consequences.
It should have healed them. Like I think it should have been like everything went back to normal, but like because like the whole premise of the spirit is like everything dies, like, and then he says himself, she's like, oh, the forest spirit's dead. He's like, no, he's not dead. He's just here. He's hiding. He's telling us something.
Yeah.
Whereas like no one dies at the end of the movie, but there's like life gets brought back to Irontown. Everything comes back.
They saved the day.
So it should have been
like
rebuild it all. The offset of them two should have. Like I know that all the wolf mother and everything, they all died, so that's pretty.
Yeah, that's true. Like Moro and Old Man Pig Lord.
But like as you said while we were watching the movie, it does leave it fairly open. Like his scar on his hand, like there's nothing to say that like it's not still there.
It shows a shot of his hand, and it's like
it doesn't show that for no reason. Yeah.
But it could still be dormant but active.
Yeah, it's like open-ended. It's like you can tell like is that a scar to you, or do you reckon he's still infected?
Yeah, I just think if you kill the main protagonist and then leave Sun alive and Lady Eboshi alive, it's like we still got the nature, we still got the industry, but there were consequences. This war, this battle, it was significant. It's not a bittersweet ending. I think a bittersweet ending is always the best too.
Yeah, like I suppose that I suppose there is.
It was bittersweet, but a little bit more bitter.
I suppose there is death in that aspect. Is like all the spirits die.
Yeah.
There's that one.
And the forest spirit is pretty well dead. Like he's not going to come back how he was.
Yeah, like they pretty much say like the animals have lost their voice in that now. Like they're no longer alive in that aspect. But there is, I suppose, that condone of it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I've always just been the type of person that's really liked, dark media and, unhappy endings and shit like that.
Yeah, well, like,
that might say more about me than
like The Mist.
anything. Yeah.
Like,
with a family just dies.
Blows out his kids' brains and shit. And
I've always loved shit like that. Fucking Shakespeare, it's like every fucking play ends in every main character dying.
There's shit you remember though, like.
Yeah, Empire Strikes Back is my favourite because you end on fucking it all fucked up, all the main characters fucked up.
Like fucking everybody remembers when like Thanos did the fucking snap and just fucked everybody. Way more than anything else.
Yeah. So yeah, but other than that, which might just be like a subjective thing rather than an objective thing, and the romance, which wasn't a big element of the film.
Yeah, I feel like that wasn't really important.
It wasn't at all. It was just added in there. It's kind of like, yeah, it doesn't really need to be here. Other than that, like, this movie is fucking amazing. The animation was revolutionary for its time. It's 2 decades old, man.
Yeah, like when you...
And I watched it the other night and I was like, fuck, this looks amazing.
There is not a point in this movie where I can press pause and it's not enjoyable, like, visually.
Yeah, the term is every frame a painting. And there are so many, like, moments in this movie where you can pause it and go, I want that, like, big.
Yeah, like you blow it up.
On my fucking wall. That is a painting, that is art.
That's crazy. There's somewhere out there is just files and files of, like, super high-res backgrounds from Ghibli films.
Well, the background stuff was, like, actual oil painting, is that right? Or is that just my eye thinking that it's, like, Bob Ross style oil paintings?
No, it is.
Yeah, I can see, like, brush strokes and stuff. So it would have physically been done to some degree.
This movie, I think it's this one or Whisper of the Heart. One of them starts where they start getting into using their computer.
This movie has 10 minutes of footage that has CGI enhanced on it. So when he's first riding on Nicole and he pulls the string up.
Yeah, all that, anything that's really rapid movement seems to be that. But
it's so seamless though. I never knew until I researched it that there was like, and I think it's not CGI put on top of traditional frame painting. It's frame painting that's been composited on top of more frame painting using computers.
A lot of it's well, I know a lot of it now. It's digital animation, so it's drawing digital media. So with it's
not CGI.
Yeah. Whereas a lot of the CGI scenes are like where they're physically altering a scene, where it's something that they got to mess with something in a way that they couldn't draw it as easily.
It's all seamless, so there's not any particular moment that sticks out and going, that's a bit rough, or that doesn't work.
I think a lot of the characters and like moving models are digital. Or either traditional drawn and then digital scanned, but I think it's the backgrounds. They're traditional paint, they're hand painted.
So you do like an oil paint for the background and then the characters moving, because that's like 24 frames. So you can have still image as a background, then composite on top the 24 individual frames.
Because like if you get a scene of a Princess Mononoke background, and you put it up to a Nausicaa background, for example, they look more akin than if you got the Mononoke background and put it against something like Ponyo, something like that. Like they're real digital, the new ones. They still have that same really high def background, but it's just when you think about it, some of these movies have ridiculous backgrounds, and like that back then it might have been easier to pay people, but like that would be time consuming these days.
Infinitely.
Like they'd have to. There's a reason it'd all be digital now. Like
it pays off though because it's timeless. Like like a landscape painting of moss on a deep, thick, dense Japanese forest doesn't age. There's no reason why politics or time or anything would impact the viewing of that.
It's based on a real place. I can't remember.
There were
Muro I think it is.
There was a forest that he took everyone to.
Yeah, he actually made him stay at.
And it looks just like fucking amazing.
Yeah, so actually, beautiful. I watched a thing on it once, and it's like hectic, similar, like just full on like foggy, like just a Japanese style.
The most beautiful, serenistic.
We don't got shit like that here.
We got like semi-arid deserts with
sweaty jungles with big cassowaries.
We have like long stretches of highway with dead animals on the side. So basically in conclusion, the narrative is so like complex and thriving. The themes are so in depth and articulated, and you can just delve so deep into them and examine them. So many different characters who, as we said, are nuanced and greyed. Their motivations aren't, I'm evil, I'm good.
Yeah, I found that this movie especially is probably one of the standout ones because it's so different. Like every other Ghibli movie you think about,
especially the violence too. So much violence in it. I love violence.
Apart from a lot of unrealistic things like Posoroko, where is a pig man or
flying a plane.
Pompo, like they're raccoons and stuff. Like you've got ones where there's magic in them, but they're all fairly realistic stories. So like you've got like a love story or like a finding who you are kind of story whereas this one is like straight up like hectic mythology everywhere.
Yeah.
I think you've got like even Ponyo is fairly intensely mythological in its basis, but like
this is hard fantasy.
Yeah, at the end of it, it's still a love story about those two. That's the whole movie basically. Whereas this one, it's literally about the forest, the interconnection between like man and industry and like nature.
Yeah.
And like it's just a complete contrast to like basically everything else he's done.
Yeah, amazing. Like I watched it so much in early high school growing up, and I loved it and it resonated with me, and I watched it a lot then, but I'd not rewatched it as this version of myself which like analyzes
I find
movies.
We're gonna overanalyze it though, because like even Miyazaki said himself, he was like, this movie is not made for children to watch because it's fairly violent.
Yeah.
But the actual themes and stuff going on in the movie is actually easier for a child to understand through their innocence. I can't remember if that's exactly what he said.
Yeah, I do remember reading that you're referring to.
Yeah, like children will actually interpret what's happening better
than
adults will.
I guess, like you could argue it. Well, once you start getting political and going like, well, environmentalism isn't really this, it's like, it is a movie. It's you meant to sit down, watch these characters and watch the events that transpire. Yeah,
like the whole term, like, eyes unclouded makes sense for like the young innocent section. Like we're not going into this movie unclouded. Like we already have judgments on humans.
More clouds, man. Just like big black dark clouds with thunder and rain. That is my brain.
Moral of the story, everybody get a red elk.
The film is fucking good, that's what we've been trying to say.
It's fucking dope.
For like an hour, okay? You got anything else you want to add to it?
I would like to pat puppies to end it.
Alright, we'll bring them in. Alright.
So what movie are we going to do next, hey?
I don't know, what do you want to do?
You want me to pick?
You can pick. You can do whatever you want, man.
Well, if I'm picking, I say we do Kiki, because that's probably the last movie I watched.
I'm down for it. I'm down for whatever, man.
I'm down for that.
This is super fun.
It won't be 11 months this time.
yeah. We can definitely start bashing that one every month.
Yeah.
We could have, we'll do 11 every 11 months. Yeah, alright. Do you want to plug your channel?
Plug my channel?
Yeah.
Some guy named Jamie, search it up.
It's down in the description.
Nothing like this. It's just gel soft gameplay, video games, garbage.
I mean, nothing is like this.
It doesn't have puppy dogs. Look at this little guy.
Yeah, so the movie's good. Obviously, that's why you clicked on this fucking video. Really help out if you guys would like subscribing in the comments. It's got all the facts right now. Opinions. Oh no, thank you and good night. Click that bell. Don't panic.
Well, settle.
We're doing this? Holy shit! Oh no, it's incorrect. This episode is brought to you by GoldenEye.
You're like, oh my child now. Fun fact, after last time, I destroyed a vacuum cleaner with vomit.
Fuck! This looks amazing!